Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to American Truck Simulator, and welcome to Fresno. Yeah, we're in Fresno. We're in Fresno. We're at Walmart. We're headed to LA, and then we're going to make our turn east. And the timing, I think, is going to work out just right for Utah. I think. Let's hop in. All right. So I did swap over to the third Pink Ribbon DLC paint job. If you didn't see that. Jump back out here, third person. These are very cool, and it's for a good cause, so check that out. If you're on the truck sim, get her in gear here. Brake is off. Here we go. And when I took the truck in to swap over the paint, I also swapped our trailer out to that little double pup set. Thought it'd be fun to kind of mix things up a little bit. So that is what's going on there. And I said we're turning east. We're going to head into Arizona. And from Arizona, we're going to get ready to turn north then and head into Utah. And I think, carefully, I think my estimate may be just about right. Now, in fairness, in the Steam store, it says that the Utah and Road to the Black Sea DLCs will be coming out Q4 of 2019. Well, there's only a little bit of Q4 left. So by process of elimination, the closer we get to December 31st, the closer we get to those DLC. But it looks like they're going to be coming out very soon because 1.36 beta is available for ATS. I've opted out of beta on both the truck sims because of the waiting for the mods to catch up when the game patches. It just got too frustrating for me. Too frustrating. And with the channel and everything and you know, feeling like I sort of need to be on a schedule with these videos, if I get into a beta and I have mod conflicts, then I'm, you know, turning mods on and off, trying to get it to work. And sometimes the mod that is causing the conflict, that is causing the crash, is also sort of critical to your profile. And so, you know what I mean? You disable the mod that's causing the crash and you lose a quarter of your trucks. You know what I'm saying. So the simple answer is just to opt out of the beta program, which you can do in Steam if you're in it. You can opt in or opt out through Steam. But what I also noticed is that the very early patches, and SCS is upfront about this, they don't try to hide it or anything, but the very early patches are, you know, obviously the sooner you get the patch, the more work needs to be done on it. So the sooner you get the patch, the earlier you get the patch, the more potential bugs and crashes and various things will be going on with it, which is the whole point of it being a beta patch, is you get it out there, let people test it, let people try it, and as you compile the crash reports and get the feedback from the users, that's how you figure out what needs to be fixed. But either way, I'm going to opt out. In the past, I've been all over beta, but I'm going to opt out of it. It looks like a cool patch. What I've seen so far, on the technical side, I guess they're moving into DX 11.1, and they're no longer supporting DX 9. So if your system only supports DX 9, I guess it's going to get kind of complicated for you to play Truck Sim. Although you can stay on 1.35, which is the other cool thing about that program. The beta program, the rollback program, is if you don't want to be on a patch, if your system doesn't like it, or if your system can't run it, or what have you, you can stay on an older version of the game. You'll lose some functionality as compared to the new one, but you'll be able to continue playing it. And you know, I continue to be impressed by SCS. I think they are a cool company. It's my understanding that when they released ETS 2. Well, I guess ATS came about a year after ETS 2, maybe a year and a half. When they released those games, they were like a 10-person shop. And now they're up to almost 100 people. And I really like the changes that they're making. I really like the direction that they're taking the game in. And I really hope that they are working on, I don't know, I just think of it as Global Truck Simulator 3. Because for me, ETS and ATS are more or less the same thing now. It's the same sim. It's just different regions and different equipment, right? Different trucks in each of those regions, but it's all the same. You know, the patches are the same. The DLC seem to come at the same time. The features and functionality and that sort of thing. So it's more or less, to me, the same sim. But I hope, I wonder if there's not another one already being developed, top secret kind of project. You know, moving it over to Unreal 4 or something, or who knows what. But I hope that's the case. But in the meantime, I'm impressed with what SCS is doing. As I understand it, from what I read in the notes, in addition to the technical stuff with DX11, you'll be able to see your drivers and see your equipment on the map now. You'll be able to see what's where. That's a cool feature. Oh, look at that. That is a commercial feedlot. If you're not familiar with those, got them all over the United States. This is where they fatten up cows before they turn them into beef. And what else? There's, I guess, if I understand this right, there's a pin feature on the map now where you can essentially designate areas you don't want to go to. So you can sort of avoid those areas. All right, that's cool. There's going to be detours, which is in ATS. And the developers flat out say in this post for 1.36 that they know it's frustrating and they know it's challenging. I mean, for me, if I'm 45 minutes out from my destination and I have an hour and a half left to get the job there, and then we hit one of those detours and it's going to take us 3 or 4 hours, we're going to be late. And we don't really need to worry about it because we don't need money. You know, we're sitting on a couple $1 million on ATS and a couple million euro on ETS. We've got all the trucks we need. We've got all the garages we want. I'm not terribly worried about one job being late. But even though it doesn't matter, it still kind of bugs me, you know? It's still kind of a little bit hot. Let me slow it down. It still kind of bothers me. It's the immersive nature of sim gaming that when something like that happens, I'm driving my truck. I want to be on time. I do not want to be late. So when you hit one of those detours and it makes you late, it just, it gets me. That will be in ETS. And then there was some other stuff as well. Now on the ATS side for 1.36, I assume that when they make the announcement, it will be similar features, although we already have the detours. I think the being able to see what is where on the map as far as your drivers and your trucks and being able to avoid areas, that'll be cool. Now they're adding Corsica to the Vive la France DLC in ETS. I don't know if they're going to add anything as far as areas in ATS. And I know when I look at this roadmap, so to speak, carefully, when you see me take a turn, kind of swing it wide like that to do my best to reduce the radius. No, increase the radius, reduce the, I don't know, you know what I mean? Kind of open it up a little bit, going through a tight turn like that. It's because I have the trailer stability turned down so low. If I crank the wheel, this thing will just flip. So I do ease off the steering a little bit sometimes to try to keep it upright. When I look at what SCS is doing, and this is more like taking a step back, 30,000 foot view kind of thing, but when I think about what SCS is doing, I'm really curious if they had a grand plan for all this. Pavel is SCS. I'm curious if there was a grand plan for all this way back in the day when they were making Scania Truck Simulator, which became ETS. And then ETS2, and then ATS, and etc. Were they sitting around the coffee shop? Were they sitting around the lab saying, man, it'd be fantastic if we could have like a map and you could see all your trucks and drivers moving around on it? Or are they responding to their customers and their fans and their users? Both of them certainly have advantages, both of those scenarios. You know, to be that responsive to your fans, that's awesome. Give people what they want, what works for them. But I also like the idea that there has always been a vision for this sim, and they've just been waiting for the technology and the money, frankly, to catch up. You know, if you've got an idea, sometimes it takes money to make it happen, and sometimes the way to get the money to make your idea happen is to take another idea that doesn't take as much money to make happen and make that happen and use it to make money, and then take that money and use it to make the other thing happen. So it could be that the truck simulators are sort of fueling themselves at this point. You know, the better they do, and the more copies of the game they sell, the more DLC they sell, the more money they have to work with, and they can then use that to continue growing the game. Holy smokes. We have to wait for another truck to pass us, because I swear, as that truck was passing us, I saw it reflected in the paint of our truck in our mirror. Wait a minute. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Yeah, let's see if we can get this reflection when this car goes past, because there's no other truck passing us at the moment. And as I'm doing all this, I'm also trying to drive and chat with you good folks. Oh, it's a scene, man. It's a proper scene. Yeah, yep, you can see that car reflected in the paint of our truck. Holy smokes, we're late already. We just left. Good grief. All right. I don't recall ever seeing things reflected in the paint before. I know I've seen them in the mirror, obviously, but yeah, and I'm curious if that is the X11. I wonder if the X11 is what's making that possible. It's good, though. It's a good thing. And yeah, I'm fascinated with this. I keep looking in the mirror to see the cars reflected in the paint. Those details, those immersive details, that stuff all, to me, it goes back to that roadmap. Is that the kind of stuff that the developers are, as they're playing their own game, they're looking forward and saying, you know, when can we do this? When can we add this? You know, it really bothers me that whatever, you know, this is missing or that's missing. When can we add those things? Well, when we have enough money, when we have enough developers and coders and designers and so on and so on. And it looks like they're getting to that point. So, I'm always, I don't want to say I'm always down on developers, but I never want to lean into fanboy territory where I stop having expectations of developers and just begin to think that any product that they make is the best thing ever. It's perfect. It cannot be improved upon. I never want to get to that point. There's always room for improvement, but at the same time, credit where credit is due. And I guess because the problems with these sims are what tends to stand out, we almost get numb to it. You know, we spend a lot of time playing these games, playing these sims, and we do get sort of numb to it. And it's like Yelp. Hang on, get past this guy. It's like Yelp. You know, one of the complaints about Yelp is people are less motivated to go on Yelp and leave a review when everything is just fine. Right? There's not enough adrenaline. People are busy. That's not a compelling enough moment to go on Yelp. But when things get messed up, and when you're so mad and you just want to choke somebody, well, of course you can't choke somebody. They frown on that. But what you can do is go on Yelp and flame them. Oh, no. So we were already late, and now we got a detour. What was I saying? All right. Oh, that's a nice one, too. All right. Now, can we just go across the intersection here? Maybe. Let's see if we're closed on the other side. Yeah, can we just go down here? I think we can. Well, we're gonna. Yeah. Now, there's no traffic going down here. But I think that all that drama was right back there, I think. Did we? Did we avoid it? All right. So you get what I'm saying. When things are fine, things are fine. It's only when things are not fine that we notice. And so for me, I need to remind myself how amazing it is. Well, gaming in general, man, when my autism kicks in, that every now and then I'll look at a game, I'll look at a sim and just be like, whoa, I gotta sit down for a minute. This is crazy. Is this even real? And because we are numb to it, because it's such a part of our lives, I think we just don't even see it sometimes. We don't even see how cool these sims are, these games, whatever it is that you're into. But when they don't work, that's when we have that Yelp moment, right? And so we get to a point, I think, where we only notice the problems. We only notice the deficiencies or the flaws, and the rest of the time we're just sort of getting our game on. But I continue to be impressed with what all developers do, and at the same time, I still want to keep them accountable. I never want to get numb in the other direction where I just stop noticing the flaws or stop noticing the things that could be better. So that is what's going on with Truck Sim. And then the only other thing I think that I've got is the Farm Sim Platinum expansion is coming out in just a few days. So when I put all that together, I think November and December are going to be super cool for gaming, for me anyway. And that's going to lead right into the holidays, and that's when things get kind of busy anyway. So I think it's all going to work out. I think it's all this year is going to end on a high note. And man, it's been kind of a really fast year. This year has flown by, and I know we're a couple months out from the actual end of the year, like New Year's Eve. We're still a couple months out from that, but I do feel like that part of the year is going to go as quickly as the first part. Does that make sense? Yeah, the whole year has gone fast, and I think the end of it is going to go as fast as the middle. And you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I didn't say it very well, but I think it made sense. Maybe. Well, this is nice. Getting into LA. Right about here. There we go. Find a good gear. Oh, that's an odd rig. Great big truck, little tiny trailer. As you do. Here we go. And I don't know how far we have to go. I'm really glad that detour didn't send us to Oxnard or someplace. Through here. But I still think we're going to be late. Through here. And I think today is the 17th. So we've got, oh, look at this guy. See how you do. We've got at least one more video with the Pink Ribbon DLC, and then possibly another one after that. But I want to try to do as many as possible. It is a good cause. It really is. And I think it's very cool that SCS decided to do 100% of what they got for the Pink Ribbon stuff to breast cancer research. I mean, I know all businesses do what they can when people donate to a charity. Most people aren't complete lunatics, and they, when they give to a charity, they give to a charity, and that's the end of it. But to give 100% is kind of unusual. Not all businesses go that far, so good on them. All right, so we're up here. Got my turn signals on manual, so I need to free up one finger to tap that. Get that turned off. I sort of miss living in Los Angeles. Not all the time. I definitely miss being in California. I'm really looking forward to getting back. But Los Angeles is kind of a it's kind of a love-hate thing. I know where I was out on the peninsula, it was between 20 minutes and an hour, depending on traffic, between 20 minutes and an hour just to get to a freeway. And then once you get on the freeway, now you're in traffic proper. So it really is, we'd have meetings. I was south of LA. I was in Palos Verdes. And we would have a meeting in Pasadena or someplace. And so, 4:30 in the morning, I'm at the gym. 6 o'clock, we're headed out the door. On the road by 7. And you get to Pasadena at 8, 8:30, 9 o'clock meeting. Come out of the meeting at 11. Have a bite to eat. Well, now it's noon. We may as well just work at a coffee shop or something up here, so we don't hit busy traffic and then try to leave mid-afternoon 2 or 3 and get home at 6. And Pasadena is 25 miles from Palos Verdes. So it really is, the traffic is like nothing I've ever seen anywhere in the world. It's absolutely insane. But you get a lot for it. It's quite an experience living there, and it is, there's a lot of money to be made in South LA and North Orange County. I lived in PV, but our offices were down in Irvine. And both those places that's the money factory. That's where money is made. It's not quite Silicon Valley, but there's still plenty going on there. So it's a trade-off. If you want peace and tranquility, move to Bozeman, Montana. If you want to make money, move to Los Angeles. And I did. But I have to say, I miss it, but if I had an opportunity to move back there today, I don't know if I would. Maybe just to visit. All right, so we're going to go right in here. Try not to scrape the wall. Straighten her out a little bit. About here. Let's see if we get our marker. And we do. Fantastic. Well, that went smoothly. I love it. So we'll get some parking lights on. Engine is off. Let's unload and see how we did. We are late. How late are we? Not that late. 13 minutes. Okay, we did all right. And we're already at level 37. So we're next level. Right on. There you have it. Folks, thanks for stopping back to check out The Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of American Truck Simulator. We'll see you next time. Take care now.